Suzanne Grandchamp, divorce attorney, author of Marriages End, Families Don't Divorce Wisely, and a Jungian coach. In today's video, we're going to talk about something that everybody needs to know about, but I don't think a lot of people do, and that is the Karpman Drama Triangle and how it plays out in divorce. Before we get started today, just a reminder that this is legal information. It is not legal advice that you have to obtain from an attorney who is licensed to practice law in the state and jurisdiction in which you live. All right, so here's the triangle basically, and this comes from listeningpartnership.com. But as you can see, there are three roles in the Karpman Drama Triangle: that of the persecutor, the victim, and the rescuer. So we're going to talk about each one of these aspects of the triangle first, and then we're going to relate it to divorce. All right, with regard to the persecutor, this person is seen as the kind of the bully in the whole drama triangle. They often don't value other people's views and integrity. They can be angry, both overtly and passively, sometimes aggressive, often judgmental, displaying bullying behavior, being demanding, being spiteful, and scornful. And then down at the bottom of the triangle, we have the victim, who has low self-esteem often, who doesn't value themselves and defers to others. They can be manipulative, they can be passive-aggressive, they can kind of inhabit this poor me syndrome. They can often exhibit helplessness and neediness, and they also complain and whine often, and fret and worry, feel downtrodden, and then they often blame others as well. And then up at the upper right-hand corner, what you have is the rescuer. This is the person who puts on the cape and helps save the victim from the persecutor. In this perspective, the person doesn't value other people's capacity to help themselves. So that victim is not seen as creative, whole, and resourceful and capable of extracting him or herself from the reach of the persecutor. The rescuer often appears self-sacrificing. They can be overly helpful and facilitative. They often want to be needed and have to be needed. They can be prone to meddling, and they can be enmeshed with the victim and engulf the victim. So that's just a little explanation about the three roles. Generally, let's talk about how they play out in divorce. Okay, so how does the Karpman Drama Triangle play out in divorce? Well, as you probably have guessed already, oftentimes there is one spouse who is perceived as the persecutor. There's another spouse who is perceived as the victim, and then you have the attorneys entering the game as the rescuer. But even before the divorce is commenced, often the Karpman Drama Triangle is present in a poorly functioning intimate relationship. And so there may be one partner who consistently feels like he or she is demeaned by the other partner, put down, victimized, abused. Those are some of the different words to describe how the person in that role of victim may feel. And then that the other spouse is seen as the perpetrator, the persecutor, the bully. And then there's often a rescuer, often as well, in this triangle. It could be a therapist who's the rescuer or seen as the rescuer, helping the victim to stand up for him or herself, helping to get the persecutor to see the role they're playing in the triangle. Or it could be a family member or a friend. So all I'm saying is that this drama triangle is often present in the marriage even before it comes into the throes of the divorce system, attorneys, courts, mediators, and judges. So what's the big whoop if the Karpman Drama Triangle is present in a marriage that's about to go through divorce? Well, simply put, it perpetuates the conflict between the parties. So you've got that triangle, and oftentimes the attorneys for either party see themselves as a rescuer, trying to protect their clients, who they perceive as a victim potentially, from the perpetrator. And that's how long, drawn out, litigious battles continue to rage and to grow in exponential size, is because that dynamic is present and it's fed. And really, the court system also can perpetuate it, because then the court system can be seen as the rescuer or the mediator, or even some other form of alternative dispute resolution or a custody evaluator, whatever. But the big thing is that that drama triangle can be stepped out of, and the roles can be seen very differently. So let's talk a little bit about that, and talk about how you can be proactive in stepping out of whatever role you're playing in the triangle, which is a much more empowered way to go through divorce. All right, so what's the alternative to the Karpman Drama Triangle? Well, there's a really good book called The Power of Ted, which is the empowerment dynamic, authored by David Emerald, that talks about this, and that's what I'm going to refer to in this conversation. But basically, the roles change, and instead of having the persecutor, you have a challenger. And in the place of victim, you have a creator, and in the position of a rescuer, you have a coach. So let's talk about each of these roles for just a minute. Okay, so in this new dynamic, what you have is you have a challenger who's basically forcing the creator, who's the former victim, to grow. And how does the creator grow? They grow through coaching, through the help of the person who was formerly seen as the rescuer. And that could be a therapist, it could be an attorney, whomever. That person is now in partnership with the creator and helps them develop the skills, talents, and abilities that they need to evolve in their own empowerment to be able to stand up to the challenger. What this does in practice is it takes all the focus off of the former persecutor, now challenger. And it takes all that energy and all that focus and places it back on the person who is seen now as the creator. And it says, okay, well, we have a challenger here, and they're certainly providing a lot of sand for this oyster of yours, and with which you can grow a big pearl. So what do we need to do? How do we need to develop you and your resources, your skills, talents, and abilities so that you can meet this challenge? And how do we help you to become empowered, to stand onto your own 2 feet, and to stand up to whatever the challenger throws your way? And this is a very different perspective, because now the creator and the attorney, or the creator and the therapist, or the creator and the custody evaluator are seen in partnership. And it is through partnership that the professionals help the creator to grow into his or her full measure of power, so that she can be fully authentic, or he can be a fully realized person in this divorce, advocating for his or her own needs with the help of professionals, but feeling it's a really different perspective in the whole divorce. And it is one in which the victim takes his or her power back and no longer feels victimized by the persecutor. Rather, they feel challenged by the challenger, and they're going to stand up for themselves. All right, so if you're getting ready to go through a divorce, or you're in a divorce, give some thought to how the Karpman Drama Triangle may be playing out. Also, give some thought to how the power of Ted, the empowerment dynamic, might be able to get you out of that system, get you out of that triangle, so that you can stop perpetuating all that conflict. Now, I do want to say one thing. It doesn't mean that the challenges and the throwdowns from the challenger are any more pleasant, but it totally shifts the perspective of the creator to one of empowerment and one of capability and one of being able to persevere and stand up against the antics of the challenger. And it totally changes the dynamic in working with the various professionals that you're going to encounter in the divorce. So Give it a try. I really feel that it works well for the clients who can step out of the dynamic because they just feel more empowered going through the divorce, and that's a good thing. All right, everybody, Suzanne Grandchamp, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Just a reminder that I have a webinar you can watch, what you need to do immediately if you're considering a divorce, and also we're still taking enrollment for my divorce readiness boot camp in October. Till next time, take care.